Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a hump day edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Veterans Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. If you need an orthopedist, you go to Brock. You need a roof, give us a shout at Parish. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and On Fire Athletes, the platform powered by GameCoin. Check it out on fireathletes.com. I'll work to get everything linked up here on Facebook. We appreciate y'all for being there with us. All right, y'all, how about LSU basketball? They've been granted a stay of their season's execution. LSU beats Arkansas 78-74. Tigers, I was a 2-point game at half, and Tigers hung in there and took their first lead of the game just inside of 10 minutes to play in the game, and then held on. They got it to about 7. They got it to 7 with, I think it was 74-67 with about a minute 19 to play. Sears made a couple of free throws. No, it wasn't Sears. It was Sears made the free throws later. Anyway, Tigers got it to 7, and then you blink and it's 2 with 28 seconds left. And you're like, oh my God, is this really going to happen? And then Jordan Sears stepped up and made 2 really clutch free throws, put LSU back up 4, and they held on. So Tigers win. Listen, I don't know. This is what I say. Like, that win doesn't put you back onto the tournament bubble or anything like that. But a loss would have, for all intents and purposes, ended your season. So, because next up, when you look at A&M, Alabama, Auburn, you're not winning any of those 3. So, you at least give yourself a heartbeat. You have a pulse. Not sure that I'm confident much is going to happen of this, but really, when we look back at it, those first 2 games against Vandy and Missouri, not getting either of those is really going to cost you. But this at least, because look, if you'd beaten Vandy and Missouri, you'd have 3 conference wins right now. Hashtag math. But in any event, they kept hope alive after the win yesterday. Tommy Rees staying in Cleveland. He'll be the Cleveland OC. As I said many, many times, very clearly, that was my opinion that it would make sense for Tommy Rees to come here, that for Brian Kelly to pursue Tommy Rees. But Tommy Rees will be an NFL OC, so he'll stay there. And then I know we talked a bunch about the silent commits that we've talked about. One of them I did learn was a Penn State safety who is staying at Penn State. So again, part of the reason why when DeMarcus Cooley was in the portal, you had to go pursue him, because it's just never done till it's done. And so I think LSU's done right now in the portal. Now they rest, and you wait and see what may happen in the spring. So, if you lose guys or other players of note enter the portal in the spring window, you pursue them then. But I think for now, sounds like they're done for now in this portal window, barring something dramatically unforeseen. Okay, let's say some good morning, y'all. Please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Bailey, why do you think Saban didn't succeed in the NFL? Well, his first year, they went 10-6. So he had success that first year. And the second year, they were 7-9, or were they 6-10? So it wasn't necessarily a lack of success. So they went 9-7 the first year, and then 6-10. So I think it was more, he realized, it was very self-aware that after 2 years, he didn't want to coach NFL players. He wanted to get back in the college game, and the Alabama job was open. And so, I don't think he was intending to leave Miami, it was one of those things where Alabama came and kept coming and wouldn't say no. And he realized he wanted to be in college. It was more that and less he fell on his face in the NFL because that wasn't the case. Hey, Thomas, good morning. Dustin Balelo, what up, Dustin? Good morning, man. Devin, good morning. Brett, good morning. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate that. Yeah, Locked On is live. Y'all go check it out. Jason H., good morning. Jacob, finally made it to morning scone. Work's been busy. It's 14 degrees in Gate City, Virginia. Y'all, this cold weather right now is something else. I mean, if we're feeling it here in Louisiana, I know y'all are feeling it everywhere north here. Bubba Smith, good morning. Bad news, but yet the Pels won last night. LSU and the Pels won last night. How about that? Pels won at Chicago. Eric, morning, Matt. Appreciate the Saints coverage. Hard to find any coverage up in Canada. Canada? Well, thanks for being there, man. Appreciate you. Of course, you can catch all our AFR Saints videos on YouTube or podcasts. Just search AFR Saints. We appreciate that. Hey, Brad, good morning. Hated how when Mickey was asked what made the Saints job attractive, he said it's one of 32. He did elaborate beyond that, but I agree with you, Brad. Like, he basically said the job is attractive because it's a job. Good morning, Matt. You have Brady Quinn holding on line one with his rebuttal. I'd love to talk to Brady Quinn about it. Like, for those that missed, I had this on AFR yesterday and on Locked On. That's there this morning. So Brady Quinn, the former Notre Dame quarterback, said Brian Kelly is the reason why. It basically credited Brian Kelly for the reason why Notre Dame is good, because he said when Brian Kelly left, it really thrust all the Notre Dame people into action to get resources for Marcus Freeman. So unknowingly, here, like I'll play the clip for you. Hang on, I'll play the clip. Here it is.
You know, when you go back to how Notre Dame ultimately got here, this was all sparked by the decision of Brian Kelly to choose to go to LSU. Brian Kelly, the head coach at LSU, who back when he left Notre Dame, I think he said sometime in January that he wanted an environment where they had the resources to win a national championship. That was his words. And just to be fully honest and transparent, that ticked me off, man. Literally, I called my attorney the next day and I said, you're going to file for a collective. This is what we're going to do. This is how you're going to put it together. I formed a board, started a fundraise, proved the concept. After that, started to bring on more people and grow and expand, and created a collective that had the resources necessary to support this. So this is back in all triggered because of Brian Kelly.
He's saying it like he's mad at Brian Kelly, which clearly he is, but he's also validating Brian Kelly's point, which was, I didn't have the resources to win at the highest level. I was a good enough coach to get you there, but with what you gave me, I'd run up against an NFL roster and we get pounded. So there's Brady Quinn saying, yeah, we got this facility. We started to fundraise in NIL and all stuff, like triggered by Brian Kelly leaving. So what you're effectively acknowledging Brian Kelly was correct, that you weren't giving him the resource. He was there for a dozen years, man. Y'all all pointed the finger at him. And were like, he's the reason why. No, you were the reason why. He's the only thing you had that was good there for 20 years. Anyway, how many SEC teams can realistically win the CWS? Joey B19, I want to remind you that Mississippi State won the College World Series when they were a 500 team in the league. Ole Miss won the College World Series when they were quite literally the last team to get an at-large bid in the field. Fresno State won a College World Series when they were a 4 seed. Coastal Carolina won a College World Series. How many SEC teams can win the College World Series? 16. Now, how many are likely to do so? I don't know the answer to that. But yeah, man, like, that's the great thing about baseball. It's a sport where you actually have a real playoff. Christian, what's up, man? Excited to see Trey Dez and Nuss cook next year. Chris, good morning. Month out from baseball season. What's your favorite LSU baseball moment? Hang on. I got to go stop Drew's sound machine. So let me do this, and I'll come back and I will share with you my favorite LSU baseball moment.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish built. Parish built. Parish built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com.
There it is. Okay. Parish Construction Roofing, ParishBuilt.com. My favorite LSU baseball moment, the 2000 College World Series. I've mentioned it many times, but was there with my dad, my brother, and my friend Ben, who has since passed. We spent the whole week in Omaha. Went to every game in that College World Series. We'd wake up in the morning and go to the gate at right field at Rosenblatt, and we were the first people in the stadium every day. Sat in the front row for every game the entire week, and of course, LSU won the national championship in dramatic fashion with Brad Cressy, the game-winning knock in the ninth, score in Terrio, and was there for the whole thing. So that 2000 College World Series, I mean, to go to the College World Series is awesome. To go when your team wins it, to be there the whole week, that was incredible. Great, like one of the greatest memories of my whole life. To have that time with those people in particular, and for LSU to win it. Gunner, good morning. Who will be tight ends coach? Don't know, Dale. Brad, why do you think TV ratings were down for college football semifinal playoff games? I didn't see the ratings, Brad. I would think in part playing on a Friday night is not great. That's just not a great TV night. That is a big part of it. But they're also trying to avoid the weekend because they don't want to go head up with the NFL playoffs, which is smart. I had a convo with Bill Bender on Monday, and Bill brought up the point. I think it was a good point. He said, like, this thing should be over by January 1st. Like the long layoff between the games, that's a problem. Like you can do this more rapidly. Like just first of all, I think you should blow out conference championship games, which they won't. But if they did, you could run this thing through December for 4 weeks, and you could have your championship on New Year's Day, which would make a lot more sense. Michael Cook, Kelly Gross, Mr. Wallace. Good morning, Matt. Two things. Hope the Saints get Joe Brady, and I respect you for not growing your hair out and having a comb over. Brother, Erica Moscona would never. I mean, that's my head. I could do whatever I want because Erica hates my beard. Like she pushed against the beard for a long time, but I was like, I'm not going bald head beard, no beard. So I grew up the beard. And so it's grown on her a little bit, but a comb over. Oh man, if I ever wanted my wife to look at me in a passionate way again, no way. Jesse, Trivia, Elbert, Brian, and every day are checking it. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that. That's a locked on listener right there. Appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Kyle, morning, Matt. Couldn't agree more with your thoughts on Mickey Loomis yesterday. What's it going to take for Mrs. Benson to see that this is the problem? I have no idea. He has been given more rope than almost any general manager, not only in the NFL and professional sports, would. And what's the old phrase? Familiarity breeds contempt. I think that's where I am with Mickey Loomis. Been there for so long. I just can't. And this has now gone so badly. I'm just ready. I'm ready for something different, completely different. Hey, Pat, good morning. Thanks for the info. Reach out today. Could be great for Parrish. First time ever hot air balloon inside the dome floor. You got it, man. Pat had sent me a message on the text line yesterday about what expo was it, Pat? You told me it was in. I'm sorry, man. I get a lot of messages. Here it is. The New Orleans Home and Garden Show. Hit us up. Bailey, man, when Mickey said just because our results are bad doesn't mean we're doing anything wrong. That is stunning. That's the one that probably takes the cake. Like, yes, it does. That's exactly what that means. Eric, more Matt, who determines how much of the overall revenue share pie each team gets? I'm guessing that's Woodward's decision. Along those lines, do most teams now have an Austin Thomas? Yeah, good questions. So, yes, I mean, that would be made internally within the athletic department. I don't think Scott Woodward necessarily has like unilateral control. He's very good at hiring people and delegating. But that is something I would like to learn more about. So I'll see if I can find out. That's a really good conversation to have right now anyway, like to shed some light on revenue share and how they put that together. But for the everydayers, I mean, 2 years ago, I was told, and I shared this with you, 2 years ago, I was told LSU was beginning to work on budgeting for the it was phrased to me, inevitability of revenue share. They were planning for 2025. So even then, 2 years ago, they knew. So they were starting to prepare financially for this. So it's been something in the works. It was very forward thinking by Scott and LSU, knowing that this was an inevitability coming. Hey, Stephen Miller, good morning. Robbie, who do you think will be in the Super Bowl? Which teams do you want in the Super Bowl? I don't have a rooting interest, man, for any of these teams. I'll watch no matter what. I think Dan Campbell and Detroit are a really good story. At this point, Jaden would be my one real rooting interest. I don't know that I think Washington's going up to Detroit and winning this week, but I'd love to see it. So I would probably tell you whoever wins that game this weekend is probably who I'd be pulling for the rest of the way. Tim, good morning. Patrick, great win for the Tigers. Pleasantly surprised. Cam Carter crushed it. You definitely hit on Cam Carter. There's no doubt. Green Z, Mike Williams knocked down 2 free. It was Mike Williams. Thank you. That's it. It was Mike Williams who hit the free throws at the end. That's what I was thinking of. Sears and then Williams. Thank you. Jesse Post, Guy Brooks, morning. Happy hump day. Hope all's well with you and your family. Thank you, Guy. Appreciate that, man. Thomas, less than a week before the record gets broken. Bradley, morning. Any thoughts on which, if any, LSU players will enter the spring portal? Not really, Bradley. Yeah. I mean, I always look at positions where you have a glut of numbers and guys aren't getting through. Like receivers, always one to look at. So you go add 3 receivers out of this portal cycle. Would a young receiver maybe leave? Possibly. Offensive line would be one of those to look at. You go through spring if maybe you have a young veteran. Maybe that's something to consider. I'd say safety, but you don't really have numbers at safety. So who would leave? I really don't know. So Tiger Diver, one Nardi, good morning. Duval, problem with Loomis is he's second in the succession plan. See, so he's not in the succession plan. That's kind of a misnomer, whoever's spreading that. So Loomis, so Dennis Lauscha, who's the team's the president of the Saints operations, is the executor of Gail Benson's will. Meaning when Gail Benson dies, because she doesn't have any heirs, Lauscha is the executor of the will to make sure that everything gets executed, including the sale of the Saints and the Pelicans. And her directive has been to make sure that it's sold to where the teams remain local. So the whole thing about Loomis being in the will, I don't know where that's coming from. That's not true. Do you think if Benson was alive, Tom Benson would be fired Loomis? I have no idea of knowing what Tom Benson would do. Look, he hired Mickey Loomis, and he left Mickey Loomis in that position for 17 years before he died. So probably not. I mean, the Bensons are very patient. It is one of the things like good owners do. Good owners hire people, give them the resources they need, and then get out of the way. And by and large, the Bensons do that. But I do think you're bumping up on a situation where you have to realistically look at what you're doing and go, this ain't good enough. And who's to blame? Like, who is responsible for the strategy, the football strategy that puts you in the position you're in right now? Hiring the coach that puts you in the position you're in right now. I mean, it's Loomis. Chance, GMs need term limits. Hunter, do you think the only reason Mickey has a job is because Gail's running the team? No. Gail Benson's not running the team. Would love to see Detroit and Buffalo in the Super Bowl. I tell you who wouldn't want to see that, the TV networks. Wade Polich, is John Emery back? No, John has said his football career is over. Hey, Rocky, good morning. Mark, McMahon is the right guy for LSU basketball. I think Matt McMahon is a really good basketball coach. I don't doubt that at all. I think with the SEC being the deepest it's ever been this year, it's literally the deepest the league has ever been. LSU, even with the money they spend in the portal to bring in some nice additions, is just not talented enough to compete with the top of this league. And unfortunately, like if this LSU basketball team were playing last year, they're a tournament team. But in this SEC, Matt, do you think Dennis Allen will be the DC for the Colts? So he's also interviewing for the Niners job. Didn't I see that? Let's see. There is patience and then there is ignorance. That's probably a voice text on patience. Patience. So it's a homophone. Homophone? Yeah. Homophone is when it sounds the same as spelled differently. Homonym is when it's spelled the same with different meanings. Like caliber is a homonym, as in the quality of the work and the size of a gun. Caliber. Patience, though, is a homophone. Patients. Patience. Sounds the same, spelled differently, different meanings. I got you, Taylor. Chance, if you interview Jay Johnson, I need to call Jay. I hadn't had him on. No, I need to. I guess I just assume we wait and do that whenever they start practicing. But it'd be a good time to get Jay on before they practice. Hey, Dad, good morning. Mark, Pelicans, they did beat the Bulls last night. Was listening to some of that on the radio during our Drew Drive last night. Mark, let's see, explain to me, how does basketball franchise land 3 Hall of Fame talents in 20 years and fumble all 3 possibly? Yeah, because they're not a good franchise. They didn't build around them. And you can't win with just one in the NBA. Charlie, good morning. Irfan Sayyad, good morning. All right, I got to go. Thanks. At 7:44, 1 minute early. Please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. All of our sponsors, linked in the description on YouTube, tagged on Facebook. Oh, last thing, again. I think I don't know how many days we have left of this, but I need your help. The best of Baton Rouge. Voting is going on. You can vote every day, and you do not have to be here. Voting ends the 24th. So we got 9 more days. 9 more days. But I would really, really, really appreciate it if you would take a quick second, click the link I just posted in the chat, votebatonrouge.com, go to the home and garden section, click roofing. I know this is complicated, but you can figure it out. Home and garden, roofing, parish construction roofing. Would love it if you'd vote for us. We would love to win this award, quite honestly. It'd be great recognition for us. I'd greatly appreciate it. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. Locked on LSU is live. Go check it out right now. YouTube, podcast, and AFR3. We'll see you.